Ohio State wasn't the only team based in Columbus to get a win on the road yesterday. I did talk about the Buckeye game. If you're interested in that and you haven't seen it, you can check that out on my channel. But this video is going to be about the Crew getting a win 4-2 in Montreal. Wilfried Nancy getting a good result in his homecoming. Rudy Camacho also returning to his most recent team before Columbus. And Columbus getting their third road victory of the season in MLS. That is not a good one, but this was result for the Crew on the road was a little bit kicking the norm in a good way. Starting 11 a bit more like usual, where last match for the Crew, the starting 11 against Houston was a bit lackluster because of rest, and they were more preparing for this game against Montreal against an Eastern opponent. Starting 11 a bit more like we're going to be used to seeing moving forward. So the match starts, things pretty calm at first. Ramirez shot a chance wide after a Montreal turnover. Then as Columbus is in the Montreal half, it would be Gressel trying a cross that goes off of a Montreal player for an own goal. It is 1-0 for the Crew at 14 minutes in. The Crew would score again less than 10 minutes later as a beautiful cross from Diego Rossi, maybe called a crossy if you will, finds Cucho Hernandez heads and he gets it in. Crew up 2-0 in the 24th minute. Great way to take control of the match. Really kind of took the Montreal crowd out of it at first. The Boo Birds coming out, but mostly just kind of stunned silence. Both teams trading close chances that don't go. Both keepers making great saves for their respective clubs. Yeboah was given a yellow in the 29th minute, and Ramirez chance stopped by the Montreal keeper 32 minutes into this one. Montreal with a couple dangerous crosses with just nobody there to receive them. Things calm down a little bit. Ramirez shoots wide in the 41st minute. Cucho Hernandez getting a goal from a Yeboah cross, another one. They look at it for offsides, but the goal stands. It is 3-0 Columbus at the 45th minute. Montreal fans getting a bit more raucous as they weren't really happy with that goal not being offsides, as I'm sure, they're already down 2-0. Then you go down 3-0, and you're just going to be primed to want any call you can get, especially if it looks like they might have a point. Montreal almost getting a chance before the half, but the Crew head in the locker room up 3-0 after the first half. Second half begins, Amundsen given a yellow card pretty much immediately, and it's all Montreal to start the second half. Schulte would make a nice save, but Rudy Camacho would turn it over, and Montreal taking advantage, getting a goal, making it 3-1 52 minutes into this thing, and the crowd getting back into it with that goal certainly. Montreal almost getting another one not even 5 minutes later, so Montreal really taking the bull by the horns in the second half. However, Cucho would be fouled just barely in the penalty area. It was one of those things where the ball is heading away from the net, so even if Cucho would have gotten to it, he wouldn't have really been in an attacking mode even if he got to the ball. But it is just barely by the letter of the rule. I heard the broadcast say, well, by the letter of the law, that is technically correct to give Columbus a penalty here, but still not something you want for if you're a Montreal fan. Columbus awarded a penalty kick. Cucho converts it, and he has a hat trick for himself. It is 4-1 for the Crew in the 65th minute. Montreal fans livid at this point because, again, it's not the spirit of a foul in the penalty box giving a penalty shot, not the spirit of the rule, but as a Crew guy, I'll certainly take it. But Montreal wasn't done yet as they immediately got one back from Ville-Saint, 4-2, 68 minutes in, and the Montreal crowd really getting behind it. As a Crew fan, seeing leads like this kind of crumble away and results getting bad late in these matches, especially on the road, I was getting pretty nervous. It looked like the Crew had some nervous energy as well. A third goal for Montreal is pressed for right after. They get a close chance that just doesn't quite go in. Cucho would try to find Christian Ramirez for a chance, but the Montreal keeper not having it. In the 77th minute, Zawadzki, Matan, and Yevon Shaverko would come in for Yeboah, Ramirez, and Moreira. And then with about 10 minutes left, you could really tell the Crew were trying to do some passing the ball around, playing keep away a bit. They were just kind of complacent to maybe not go for a fifth goal, but if it happened, that would be nice. But they were just complacent to kind of just kick the ball around and let the final minutes of the game kind of roll away. And they were doing it fairly well throughout the early to mid 80 minutes of this game. Mo Farsi and Kevin Molino in for Julian Gressel and Diego Rossi at the 85th minute, and the rest of the game really went without major incident. Montreal did get, a couple chances here and there, but most of it was just the Crew making sure not to concede any goals. Darlington Nagbe did go down, and the Crew didn't have any subs left, so he still played, but he was ailing pretty badly once play did resume. Schulte would make a save, and the final whistle blows. 4-2, a victory for Columbus on the road. So that means the Crew currently are 4th in MLS East, although 5th place Philadelphia Union is only 2 points behind with 2 less matches, so if Philadelphia can make those matches up with a couple good results, the Crew will be back in 5th. However, the Crew are still in striking distance of 2nd and 3rd. They're 2 points behind both New England and Orlando City. And speaking of the Lions, that is going to be the Crew's next match in Orlando on Saturday, September 16th. So the Crew have a couple weeks to get get well rested and make adjustments and assess for that match. And that's going to be potentially pretty big for playoff seeding implications, as again, right now, Orlando City and the Crew are only separated by 2 whole points. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you did make it this far into it, you can let me know what you thought about this match down in the comments below. Leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it and you would like to see more like it, and I will see you at the next one.